Both. John, start with you. I mean, this little down, let's say 1.4% on Nike. Does it say something just about the setup into this number, or is there anything in the results that maybe is causing a little pause?
Yeah, certainly the valuation had run into the results. Our price target's 106. That's 31 times next year's fiscal earnings. So valuation was somewhat elevated. Expectations were elevated, but the momentum's pretty incredible. 13% constant currency revenue growth for a brand this size just shows the momentum.
Jonathan, how about you? I mean, is there anything in the quarter that gives you any sense of what the next act is? Obviously, new CEO coming in, or is the strategy just essentially pre-built?
Yeah, I think you're seeing the strategy that's really outlined 2 years ago really start to play out. I think the stock reaction today largely is noise for a stock that doubled the S&P's gains over the last 3 months, up very strong year to date. And it really is impressive from a fundamental perspective to see a $40 billion brand growing the way Nike is at an accelerated pace through digital innovation, really strength internationally, China being a key standout, and those are very much elements that we expect to continue.
John, you're looking at digital growth here that is stunning, 38% growth. The Nike app more than doubled. The sneakers app was up more than 20%. How important is this increasing push toward digital, and also how does it play into the international strategy, which is now making up so much of Nike's revenue?
Sure. Nike's serving consumers on a very personal level with those apps and at the Nike membership level. And that's driving great economics for Nike. There's a big benefit to gross margin long term from the increasing shift to digital. So it's a very powerful story, not only in North America, but also internationally, particularly in China, where nearly 40% of our incremental EBIT growth the next 5 years will come from China. So that story is very critical.
And Jonathan, they've been able to do that in spite of the trade tensions and the back and forth with China. How much room is there for growth in that country?
Yeah, I think it really speaks to Nike's positioning within China. It's less than 20% of total sales today. Arguably, maybe the biggest opportunity long term. Nike a couple of years ago highlighted about a 50 million population in terms of the addressable market in North America. In China, that could be 10x over time. So you see the secular tailwinds, a well-positioned aspirational brand, and really leading with the digital strategy in China. All of that coming together should sustain. It's now been 22 quarters where they've averaged 22% growth over that period.
It's amazing, John. Gross margin expanded about 20 basis points, I guess, in the second quarter in China. Can they continue to move that margin higher or not?
We think they can. There's a lot of mix benefit to Nike from the direct business long term. ASPs are rising. You're seeing one of the best product cycles they've ever had across the Nike and Jordan brand. So average selling prices are rising. That's driving gross margin higher, and also mix shift towards China and other regions.
Jonathan, I mean, the entire conversation, it sounds like it's just kind of a lock, right? I mean, and the only question is how much you would pay for the stock. I just wonder, are we absolutely done talking about market share issues? It wasn't that long ago we were worried about momentum on the part of Adidas, or even, we're talking about a basketball shoe down cycle. All that stuff has gone by the wayside?
Yeah, I think if you look over the last 2 years, Nike, when they outlined their digital direct offense for the first time back in 2017, the stock has roughly doubled since then, and it's largely been the result of everything we've talked about with digital and product innovation. And the outlook for those areas perhaps is as strong as we've seen for the company. Now, our take on the stock really has been that doubling in the share price over the last 2+ years. More than half of that's been valuation expansion. And I just think here at a low 30s times on the forward PE multiple, there's really not a lot of room for further expansion. And so it's much harder to make the upside case here, especially where consensus expectations are quite bullish already looking forward.
Finally, John, the Parker era ends. It's been an awfully good one for shareholders.
Very incredible.
What do we expect with Donahoe? I mean, you can obviously expect the momentum, I would assume, but different CEO, different things do occur.
Yes, Nike's in a position of strength, and they are very excited for John Donahoe to start accelerate the digital transformation that they're already really seeing. So Donahoe's background is in digital, software, and strategy. He's going to bring tremendous insight into the Nike brand.
All right.